Network takeover again Sunday. Giannis versus the Claw and PG-13 earns our coveted retreatment here on SportsCenter. 3:30 to go. Clippers leading 196. George working on Giannis. He stepped back and he came up short. Next possession, another opportunity for PG-13. Good ball movement, but that two off the mark. Back-to-back misses. Next Bucks possession, Giannis down low. Size advantage on Patrick Beverley. Helps when he pushes off two. Made the free throw. Milwaukee down only one. Just over 2 minutes to go, same score. The man just covers so much ground, Giannis does. Another scoreless position for LA. Under 2 minutes to go. Trailing by one, George. At the rim. Clippers come away with nothing. Just over a minute to go. Kawhi, you're getting the sense is this. What happened down the stretch? LA struggled. Next possession, Paul George. No. Hey, we need a highlight with a lot of misses. George, 1 of 11 in the second half. That's tied for the worst second half in his career. Tremendous ball movement by Milwaukee, ending up in the hands of Giannis. 2 steps and the flush. Bucks in front by 3. And then after all that, despite it all, 10 seconds to go. One last chance for the Clippers to tie. Kawhi, short. He and George combined to go 0 for 9 in the final 4 minutes of the game. That's tied for the most misses without a make by any pair of teammates in the final 4 over the last 20 seasons. Bucks win it 105-100. Bucks have finally beaten a team higher than they are in the standings. They entered Sunday 0 for 5 against the 6 teams currently with a better record. Their next game against a team ahead of them March 17th in Philly on ESPN.
All right, Tim Legler on board to either lay praise or scold players as is necessary. That one, the Bucks and Clippers, went right down to the wire. What'd you make of the Bucks' final possession?
Yeah, let's lay some praise because I love what they did at the end of the game. And it's, to me, their Achilles is how they close out games because Giannis does have some limitations. So if you put him in certain spots offensively to make the game a little bit easier for him, it puts an awful lot of pressure on the defense. And I thought the biggest possession of the game, I love what they drew up because they approached it a little bit differently. Let's get Giannis the ball at 15 feet. He's got a live dribble here. So one dribble, he can be at the rim. But now let's run some action. Great back screen right here. Drew Holiday makes a great read. Rather than force that layup, when he kicks this out, it starts a chain of events. They start moving the ball around the perimeter, and then this last part, Giannis gobbles up that space on that last swing pass. So he's already moving into the gap before that ball is swung. Rather than just what most guys in the league will do now is just stand there, wait, catch it at the three-point line, and take that shot. I love the fact that he played to his strengths, but none of that really is possible if you give the ball to Giannis in the middle of the floor and let him ISO and try to attack. That is what they do a lot at the end of games. This was a much better way to go about it because it put an awful lot of pressure on the Clippers to try to get their rotations down perfectly. The Bucks move the ball, and they get a win. This felt like a playoff game, the way that these two teams defended, and Milwaukee executed down the stretch to get a huge win against the Clippers.
Tim, February has come to a conclusion. Jamal Crawford is still available. Besides that, what else stands out to you about this month?
It's got to be the Utah Jazz. I think coming into this season, we all knew the Lakers are prohibitive favorites. We knew the Clippers were legit. You looked at a team like Milwaukee coming back from what they've done the last few years. So what's the one team that sort of snuck up on us a little bit here at the start? And what happened in February, Kenny, they went from being a good story and a good start to a legitimate contender. Because this is a team that can beat you multiple ways. They can beat you defending, and they can also beat you because they flat out will shoot you out of the building. This is as good an offensive display as you're going to see when you talk about moving the ball and shooting it from the three-point line. Making 17 threes a night. It comes from a variety of places. Great chemistry, great unselfishness, exceptionally well coached, and they play both ends of the floor. So I think Utah thrusting themselves into the contender status, for me, that's the big story coming out of February.
Tim Legler, a world map behind him, a world of basketball knowledge to share with us. Good to work with you once more.
Thanks, Kenny.
Continuing on in the Federation, we got the Hawks and the Heat coming at you. Jimmy Butler out. The Heat just 3-9 without Butler this season, by the way. Without their best guy, what are they going to do? Heat down 1, off the miss. Duncan Robinson. Kendrick Nunn, way out there. Under 3 left in the first. Flex to Nunn. Might as well launch again. 13 points in the half for Nunn. Iguodala, Precious Achiuwa. And 1. Later in the second, Nunn coming baseline. Achiuwa finds some space. 10 points in the half for him. Heat up 10 at the half. John Collins trying to get the Hawks back in it. Lights up a 3. And then Trae Young down by 4. Clint Capella wide open. 13 seconds left in the quarter. Collins going to get a 2 right in there with people in his face. Collins and Capella scored 29 and the Hawks 33 in the third. 1-point game going to the fourth. All right, Heat up 2. 2:25 to go. Heat coming in transition. Nunn launches from the wing. Heat up 5. He had 24 plus 7 assists. Now Heat have 7-point lead. About a minute to go. Hero, Dragic, and wrap it up. The Heat get a win. That's 6 in a row. This one, 109-99. All right, the Raptors' coronavirus situation was such the team didn't have the required 8 players to tip off on Sunday. So the game with the Bulls was put off. Toronto played and beat Houston on Friday after head coach Nick Nurse, forward Pascal Siakam, and some others were pulled out of action. Sunday's Raptors-Bulls is the 30th NBA postponement this season.
They have been outscoring teams, 7 of 8. Entering play against the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, a DNP. Jason Tatum needed to play at a different level, and he did at a different level. Look at that finish, the explosiveness. Giving Bradley Beal a little pat on the butt. Celtics led by 5 to break. 5.5 to go. Beal keeping the whiz in this one. You could say that about the game and the season. Through contact, fouled, and won a 4-point play. 4 minutes to go. 2-point game. Off the bounce. Whoa. And 1. He was 16 of 29 from the field. He went for 46 in this game. First player with 4 straight 35-point games against the Celtics in the regular season or playoffs since Kobe in 07. But Tatum get on his spot and knock it down. Boston led by 1. Under a minute to go. Beal. Guess who in crunch time, right? What a finish for the NBA's leading scorer. 19 seconds to go. Celtics down 3. Tatum thought about it, took it to the cup. Good things happen when you do that. And then Beal stepped on the end line, turned it over. Take another look. Some contact, slips, falls, turnover. And so the Celtics get another chance to take the lead. And guess who's taking the shot? Tatum. His 3rd go-ahead field goal in the final 5 seconds of a game this season. That's most in the NBA. Celtics take a 111-110 lead. 4 seconds to go. Beal double-teamed, as you might expect. Unable to knock it down. And the Celtics needed 1, and they get it at home. 111-110. Tatum goes for 31 and 8. Beal, another 40-point game and a loss. It's his 11th straight loss in a game he scores 40. According to Elias, that extends the longest streak in NBA history. He's the only player on the list in double digits.
There are 2nd and 3rd graders in New York City who haven't lived long enough to see a Knicks team like this. Derrick Rose making his return to Detroit. Oh, right to the rack. This move is protected by copyright law and international treaty. Working on Dennis Smith Jr. right to the rack. Rose goes for 14 and 5 assists. All right, second quarter, late going. Knicks up 13. Julius Randle. Okay, he's going to do that. Fall away. Knicks are out by 15. Third quarter, R.J. Barrett. His turn. Coming to the rack, got fouled. Through contact, he goes for 21. 8 of 13 from the floor. Knicks are going to town here. Up 65-49. Later in the third, Randle. Mid-range. Knicks pulling away. Randle goes for a game-high 25, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. And he goes to Rose, tips it to Nerlens Noel, throws it down. Knicks move it around. And then Barrett, alley-oop. For what purpose does the gentleman rise? To do that, Noel again. And the Knicks win by 20, 3 straight wins. The last time the Knicks were over 535 games into the season was 2012-13. They were 23-12 at that point. They would finish 54-28, made the playoffs as a 2 seed before losing the East semis to the Pacers. Knicks are currently a 4 seed after this win on Sunday.
You know the line about the old dog and new tricks, right? But what if they learn it on their own? 26 seasons and 8 Final Fours and a chip and nearly 600